It all began when I thought I'd found a routine that would last forever. My job was simple, running maintenance on space freighters at a remote docking station on the outer edge of the Helios system. My days were spent fixing engines, checking fuel lines, and occasionally entertaining myself with the far-off sight of distant stars and wandering asteroids. The isolation didn't bother me. After all, I had always been more comfortable with machines than with people. But everything changed the day the ship arrived. It wasn't a standard freighter, nor was it an unexpected cargo vessel. No, this one was different. It wasn't even the sleek, advanced ships I was used to seeing. This one was old, heavily damaged, and seemingly cobbled together from parts of various ships. It looked like it had been through a war zone. The only thing that caught my attention more than its battered appearance was the strange, glowing emblem on the side, a symbol I didn't recognize. I wasn't prepared for what I found inside. The alien girl's arrival. I'd been sent out to investigate when the vessel docked. My heart skipped a beat when the airlock door slid open, revealing a figure I wasn't sure I could even call human. She was tall, easily a foot taller than me, and her features were unlike anything I'd ever seen. Her skin shimmered like liquid metal, shifting in color from silver to deep violet as the light hit her. Her eyes were large, almond-shaped, and a glowing shade of blue, like the light of distant stars. I knew instantly that she wasn't from anywhere on Earth. She took one step forward, then another, her movements fluid and graceful, as if she were gliding through the air. I stood frozen, unsure of what to say or do. "I am Zora," she said, her voice a strange melody, almost as if it was humming inside my skull. "You are human." I nodded, still speechless. Her eyes seemed to study me, not with curiosity, but with something deeper, almost like she was reading my very thoughts. I'm Eric," I managed to say, trying to force my shock out of my voice. "What brings you here?" She smiled, though it wasn't the kind of smile I'd expected. It wasn't warm or friendly. It was almost predatory. "I have traveled far to find you," she said, with a slight pause. "You are the first human I have ever met." I blinked. "First?" "Yes," she confirmed, her gaze unwavering. "You are my first human. I have been seeking a human for a long time." This strange connection. Zora's words lingered in my mind, though I couldn't make sense of them. It wasn't every day that an alien showed up on a remote space station, let alone one that claimed I was the first human she'd ever encountered. "What do you need from me?" I asked, trying to steer the conversation to something I could understand. Zora stepped closer, her gaze never leaving mine. It felt like she was reaching deep inside me, as if she could see every thought, every doubt, every fear I had. It was unnerving, but I couldn't look away. "Your kind humans have something I need," she said, her voice low. "Something unique." I frowned. "What is that?" Zora tilted her head, considering me carefully. "It is not easy to explain, but you will understand soon enough." Before I could say anything more, Zora reached out. Her hand hovered just above my chest for a moment, then touched me. The moment her skin made contact with mine, a surge of energy pulsed through me. It was unlike anything I'd ever felt, intense, electrifying, and strangely warm. I felt my breath catch, and my body stiffened as if I were frozen in time. What did you do?" I managed to ask, though my voice felt distant, muffled, as if I were underwater. "I have linked us," she said calmly, her tone like a soothing whisper. "I have shared my essence with you. Now we are connected." The mind link. For the next few moments, I could only stand there, trying to process what had just happened. But then, I felt a subtle shift in my perception, like a veil being lifted. Zora's thoughts began to flood into my mind. I couldn't block them out, nor could I resist. Her emotions, her knowledge, her history, it all flowed into me, one after another. Her people, the Zethari, were an ancient and advanced race that had long since abandoned their physical forms, transcending to a higher state of existence. But not all had ascended. Some, like Zora, were still bound to their physical bodies, seeking out other species to help them evolve. She had traveled across the galaxy, searching for someone she could bond with. The Zethari were dying. Her people's civilization had crumbled under the weight of their own power. Only through merging with a human could she experience the emotions she'd lost and, in turn, help her people rise from the ashes. "You are my savior," Zora's voice echoed in my mind. "Through you, I can save us." The unbelievable truth. It took me a moment to absorb the truth of what she was saying. I was connected to Zora, linked in a way that no human had ever been linked to an alien. She wasn't just seeking help. She needed me to become part of her in a way that went beyond simple physical or emotional connection. I was her vessel, her conduit to the human race, and the key to saving her people. The realization hit me like a wave, leaving me stunned. I wanted to run, to escape from this strange alien woman who had just appeared in my life and turned it upside down. But Zora's presence inside my mind made that impossible. It was like trying to escape my own thoughts. "Why me?" I finally managed to ask, my voice barely a whisper. Zora's reply was gentle, but firm. "Because you are unique. Humans possess emotions that are powerful, unpredictable. That is what I need." The struggle for control. As the days passed, I struggled with the bond we shared. Zora's emotions were overwhelming. Her loneliness, her desperation, her unfulfilled desire for connection. It was like being consumed by another person's life, their thoughts, their memories. I couldn't escape it, no matter how hard I tried. But there were also moments, brief, fleeting moments, when I felt something more than just a connection. I began to understand her pain, her sorrow, and the weight of her people's decline. The more I shared in her thoughts, the more I could feel the depth of her love for her kind. She didn't just need me for herself. She needed me to help her save her civilization. The more I resisted, the more intense the bond became. And the more I accepted it, the more I felt my own humanity slipping away. I was no longer just Eric, the mechanic on a remote station. I was something more, and I wasn't sure if I could handle it. The final choice. One night, as I lay in my quarters, Zora's presence filled my mind like a constant hum. Her thoughts were inescapable, her emotions a tidal wave crashing against my own. I knew that she had given me a choice, help her or resist. But either choice would come with a price. "Eric," her voice echoed softly in my mind. "It's not too late to turn away. You can still leave." I thought about it, about running, about escaping this strange, unexplainable bond. But then I thought about the Zethari, about their extinction. And I thought about Zora, who had trusted me, who had shared herself with me in ways I never thought possible. "I will help you," I said quietly, though it felt like the words came from someone else. Zora's voice was filled with warmth and gratitude. "Thank you, Eric. You have no idea how much this means to me." Conclusion. The beginning of a new journey. In the end, I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I didn't know if I would lose myself in Zora's world, or if I would find something new and meaningful. But what I did know was this. One touch, one moment, had changed everything. And now, I was bound to a future that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. Together, Zora and I set out to help her people, to bring the Zethari back from the brink of extinction. And though I wasn't sure where the path would lead, I knew that my life had been irrevocably altered and that there was no turning back.